Paul. How's it going?
Hi, Jacquelyn. How are you?
I am good. I had maybe the best weekend of my life. I got engaged 2 weekends ago, which maybe should be the best weekend of my life. But this weekend, Kevin, my fiance, he invited like all of my childhood friends to come surprise me this weekend. So from like New Jersey, from Philadelphia, from Washington, D.C., they all came up this weekend. And it was just like surprise after surprise after surprise. So it was like I'm on cloud nine. I'm great. How are you, Paul?
Mazel tov, as
Thank
we
you.
say in French.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Yes,
You
yes.
didn't really reveal those details, but you were proposed to in Stowe, Vermont, they tell me.
Yes, that happened. Yeah, it was on a run. It was very on brand for me and my partner. Which also, it's a very very eventful time in my life right now. I have my first marathon next weekend too, so I'll check in about that next week.
Wow.
But yeah, Stowe, Vermont, and right on the Von Trapp Family Lodge grounds. So it was really, really beautiful. And the foliage was like very early peak season this year. So it was just stunning. It was amazing. So beautiful. Let me take us through this week's headlines because I can't have this be, 5 minutes of just me talking about my life, even though it's very exciting.
Yeah.
So we have a new NCI director. It's official. Do you want to talk a little bit about it, Paul?
Yep. Anthony Letai from a place called Harvard. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, it's like a off the beaten path, kind of not well
It's in,
known. I've heard it's good though.
yeah, it's in Boston. It's been
It's in
around.
Cambridge, actually.
Well, Boston area. So, but seriously, I don't think anyone I know has anything but good things to say about him. So, the 18th NCI director, I called a bunch of people who knew him and who know him rather. It's a present tense, and they all had wonderful things to say. Before we list the names, I think we should probably talk a little bit more about the timing, because he was sworn in by Kennedy on September 29th. And until actually we knew about this happening for maybe 3 weeks, and we didn't break the story deliberately because we were actually hoping, to be able to say that he was actually named, because there was,
Yeah,
you remember there were a lot of names floating about,
yeah, yeah.
some good, some not so good, some mainstream, some so out of the mainstream it's painful to even imagine what could have happened.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But this is very mainstream, and cutting edge is actually a better word for it. So that maybe not be mainstream.
Yeah, yeah.
So but it's interesting. He got sworn in, and now on Wednesday, October 1st, as we're taping this, the government has been shut down. So it's kind of like hurry up and wait. We don't know how long this is going to take.
Yep. He had a whole 2 days of work before the government shut down. It's very
Yeah.
unfortunate that he's walking into that.
Yeah, we actually, one thing about the shutdown is that we actually do not know how NCI is planning to get through it, because in the past we kind of knew it. There was,
Yeah.
there was a memo that came out first. This is priority one. This is priority two. I haven't seen anything yet. I have no idea. I mean, I hope all the animals stay alive.
I know.
I'm sure everything will be fine. It's just sort of not clear what the process is, because NCI is a tough and resilient place, and they'll get through it. I hope.
Yeah. Too.
But let's talk about Letai for a few minutes.
Yeah, totally. He is a functional diagnostics expert. I think that's what you're referring to when you said cutting edge, right? He focuses on apoptosis, and he has focused specifically on BCL2. It's a pathway that I am not familiar with, so I'm not going to get into the details of. But it led to the BCL2 inhibitor drug Venclexta, or venetoclax. Very always tongue twisters with these drug names, but yeah. So he's he, like you said, Paul, he is incredibly well respected by former NCI directors, former NIH directors. So Monica Bertagnoli talked about how he is an outstanding clinician scientist. We have Kim Rathmel supporting him, Ned Sharpless, Bill Kalin, the Nobel laureate also from Harvard, Brian Drucker from OHSU, and Bruce Trabner. So a lot of support, a lot of
and I could have contacted 10 more people and gotten 10 more things, 10 more really top-notch people everybody respects, and would have gotten a lot of more and more. I just had to stop somewhere.
I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about him.
Not even in a way that would be well, you got to watch out for blah 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 whatever. No, this is all good. So, I mean, this is a guy who would have been a great hire for any administration. So, it's an interesting thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing him come in and stabilize the place. And I'm sure that there's morale is not great. And I know morale is not great. And I'm also sure that it's not going to get better as a result of the shutdown.
Yep, absolutely. Well, at least we have this one sort of spot of hope and stability, and like Dr. Kalin said, I love this. I don't know why it resonates with me so much, but Dr. Kalin called Letai a refreshingly well qualified choice. So we have good leadership.
Yeah, it really is. It really is the case. But you can't just say that it's one thing. It's one in a series of good news, of events that really are positive for NIH and NCI. The House and Senate bill.
I mean, it's better than the catastrophic news of the budget, but it's still not like good news. I feel like any other year we'd be like, oh, flat funding. No, that's, like it's still,
Well, it's sort of like commutation of a death sentence. Or near that, which is what the president's budget proposal was. It wasn't quite a death sentence, but functionally it kind of was. And then there's a lot, but that's not where we are. So forget it. So, but I think it's good to see those things happen, better than them not happening. And this guy is a great hire for any administration. And in fact, I kind of miss the time when NCI directors could go from administration to administration and nobody really cared, because NCI is NCI, science is science, and there's no party affiliation issues, or shouldn't be. And I would hope that he sticks around for several administrations. That would be ideal. So, good news.
Good news. Claire and Paul worked on a very, very, very complicated regulatory story about Trump's FDA inventing a wonky pathway, basically, with the aim of approving leucovorin for the treatment of autism. And leucovorin is it's not a chemotherapy, but it's given alongside chemotherapy often. That's its main use at this point. We had 3 guest editorials this week. One was about the importance of continued federal funding for the North American Cancer Surveillance Enterprise. That is an excellent guest editorial. Definitely recommend checking that out. I say that every week, but this one is for real. The second was about the role of telemedicine in oncology. And the third was a case study, MD Anderson as a case study about how to successfully prioritize the well-being of nurses at academic cancer centers and how that is, to the benefit of patients and nurses alike. Do you want to talk about story 2 a little bit? I know it's quite complicated, but we can do just like a little chat about it. I thought it was really fascinating, the leucovorin story.
Yeah. That one was really kind of a doozy because FDA and I suspect it had something to do with Kennedy as well, got very excited about the possibility of leucovorin being an effective treatment for autism, for some forms of autism. And yeah, a lot of excitement. Data are a little on the thin side, not what you usually see to approve drugs. Although sometimes with rare diseases in pediatrics, for example, you do see pretty thin data packages for approval. So let's be fair here. But then comes the really interesting part is the pathway they chose.
Yeah.
Because leucovorin is a very old drug. And it's used with, 5-FU and methotrexate. That gives you an idea right there. I'm actually old enough to remember. Well, I'm old enough.
No, I want to know, please.
Well, I just remember when there was discussion of leucovorin versus levamisole with 5-FU, and we really have no idea. And levamisole really didn't work. And it's just a fascinating story of levamisole, which is such a tangent. Do you want me to keep going on the tangent?
I do. I don't.
Well,
I do.
The beauty of levamisole in colon cancer was that it basically showed in early studies, and they weren't late studies, that there was some efficacy. However, the efficacy was due to the fact that 5-FU was being administered on a schedule. So it's like you do better on a clinical trial than in reality in the world. So in this case, it was because it was just, they weren't playing every which way with the dose.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what it showed. And then later studies showed it was completely ineffective. And it was replaced, and it was a great story because you could buy, and this is a Chuck Mortel story from Mayo. Chuck Mortel discovered that you could buy very, very cheap animal grade levamisole, and as opposed to human levamisole, it's the same drug. But levamisole has nothing to do with it. It was replaced by leucovorin. So we're talking really old stuff, and I was there. Oh boy, yeah. I'm also exactly as old as 5-FU, by the way.
I never knew that. How did I not know that?
I don't know.
That's
I just
crazy.
sort of looked it up, and I don't know if that doesn't speak volumes for my mental health that I looked up my age versus the age of 5-FU, and anyway. Enough of detours. These are not just detours. This is not good. This is, yeah.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah. I don't think anybody else is, but
you are. That's for sure.
Oh, I am. But hey, I could just be sitting there without wasting time with people who are watching or not watching this. So where were we? Yeah. Oh yeah. Leucovorin.
Yes.
All right. So here's the issue. Leucovorin is a branded drug up through about 1997. By 1997, the company asks to just let it go to the generics. The heck with this thing. Then by 1999, it just GSK is the sponsor. GSK just withdraws from the whole thing, which makes perfect sense. That's what pioneer companies do, because who wants to be updating the label on something you're not selling?
Yeah.
So who wants to be responsible for that? So that's just typical behavior. So quarter of a century ago. Now, fast forward to now, and 26 years later, really, and there's this sort of a political push, not necessarily scientific, but maybe a little so, to get this thing approved for autism, for a form of autism.
Yeah, it's CFD, it's cerebral folate deficiency, which I think people with CFD demonstrate autistic features. It's a related condition. It's not quite, but I think it's on the. I think the administration definitely has its eyes set or its aim set on having leucovorin approved for autism eventually. But that's just not where they're at right this second.
Yeah. So the only reason to get that approval is so you can start promoting it. So if you go to an SNDA approach, but to have an SNDA, you have to have an active NDA. And in this case, GSK gave up its NDA 26 years ago. So really, probably for the first time in history of FDA, and therefore likely for the first time in human history.
Likely.
FDA, well, the company was allowed, or in this case, really probably prevailed upon, to revive its NDA, and then seek a supplemental NDA for this indication. Now, the company is not going to be going back into the sort of the big market for leucovorin.
Yeah.
There's no way. It's just going to open that up and make it available and let them have it. And I guess it's just an odd story. Plus, they actually even kept the same NDA number as they had before. And some folks have been pointing out that as a result of the drug shortages, which, by the way, also affected leucovorin in a pretty major way, which was catastrophic. During the drug shortages, or as a result of the drug shortages, FDA got the authority to approve drugs, cancer drugs, and this is a cancer adjacent drug. And they could have done that. They could have really done that without GSK, but they chose to do it through GSK. Maybe it's a path of least resistance.
Yeah. So you said that this was the first time in human history, but that's specifically the FDA is asking a company to resubmit an NDA that is
to revive an old NDA and do so under the same number. So suddenly it's as though those 26 years never passed, which is, I mean, you have to be a certain kind of nerd to be very interested in this.
I know. I was just going to say that.
We at the Cancer Letter are precisely that kind of nerds.
Yeah. I was literally going to say we're regulatory nerds. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah. What a story. It's a really, you kind of have to think of Hatch-Waxman and how that works and why the company, it's just, anyway, but it was really a lot of fun. And it was actually a very important story to actually report in this way. So this was a fun issue.
Yeah,
for all
absolutely.
Of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to kind of report around the edges. Claire did a beautiful job on the FDA story and of course on the NCI story, and I've been kind of like sniffing around on the edges of the story and trying to bring in the parts that Claire didn't or couldn't really, or could, but I couldn't be expected.
I don't think she'd be mad about that. Yeah, I think she would say the same thing.
No. It's kind of perfect because I was doing the work that I couldn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, beautiful, beautiful week last week. Very nice. And fun podcast. I had a good time. It might be a little
I had a good
tangential for
time.
the general audience, but
I hope others listen to it, and then I hope there are people still out there who care about levamisole as much
yeah,
as I do.
I bet they're out there for you, Paul. All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank
All
you so
right.
much. I will talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you. All right. Bye bye.